presentation of the National Football League. Hey, let me grab my guitar in the car.
Crazy stuff happening on Thursday nights every week.
Junior sign for the Utes for a 60-yard strike. Justin Herbert. Jefferson leaps to catch it, and he caught it! For Chris Carter. Spectacular run by Adrian Peterson. Ladainian Tomlinson scores again. Randy Moss, the fastest player in the NFL. A 16-yard laser by Phillip Rivers. The Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. It's a big miracle.
Ways to watch tonight include our 5-issue of Next Gen Stats broadcast, featuring player tracking events made by Insights on engagements by Ken Langley. You also watch in Spanish with Fiona and Espanol. Moments ago, Kaylee Harton caught up with Keenan Allen in our Sideline Connections presented by Verizon.
Well, Keenan, on Sunday, the Vikings struggled giving up big pass plays. What opportunity do you see for yourself in this offense tonight?
I think just trying to score points, man. See if we execute the whole game, start to finish, come out, start off with points, and just keep going from there.
News tonight, you guys have your left tackle, Joe Alt, back. What impact can he have on the field for you and this team?
Big time, man. He's an all-pro. So, it's great to have those guys back. And, a player like that can change the game immediately. Thank you.
Keenan Allen back after 1 year in Chicago. On the right, of course, Jim Harbaugh. He does that before every game with Herbert in his second year. Kevin O'Connell, who was with the Rams when they won the Super Bowl in this stadium after the 21 season, now in his fourth season in Minnesota. Chargers won the toss, will defer. Vikings will get it. SoFi pulling up. Everybody trying to beat the traffic. And ready to get started week 8 in the National Football League. Cameron Dicker will be kicking off for Los Angeles. Miles Price, working out of Indiana. That's Price right there, setting up inside this 5-yard line. Chargers and Vikings. Waiting for the go signal. And off we go from Los Angeles on this Thursday night. Kick is fielded at the 1-yard line by Price. And Ricky comes out past the 20. Around the corner, he goes. Price, who gets stopped by the rest of this coming back. Cleve Blakeman is our referee tonight.
Cleve Blakeman is our referee.
Return team number 96. 3-yard penalty, first down.
That's Tyler Patty. He is
Yes!
looking at BYU. So Carson Wentz. The much traveled Carson Wentz is 16 in 6 years. 2-2 this year. Replacing McCarthy after week 2. Five touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Moved the ball well last week, but once they got inside the 20, they were dead. They settled for 5 field goals.
Yeah,
That's how many they lost.
Yeah, 1 of 6 inside the red zone. Big emphasis, obviously, following that game against Philly. And for Carson Wentz, there'll be series when he looks outstanding, and then there'll be series where you're scratching your head. Tonight, they just want to be a distributor, find an open man and get the ball out.
Aaron Jones is back. He's missed the last 4 games. He flares out. The pass is behind him and incomplete. So Jones, many years with Green Bay, good runner and a great pass catcher as well, is the target here at 2nd down and 10.
It's good to see him back. Had that hamstring injury in week 2. They really missed him, not only catching the ball out of the backfield, but being a combination with he and Jordan Mason. When they brought Mason over from San Fran, that's really what they envisioned, the two of them together, taking some of the load off of Aaron Jones. But he's back now to give him that tandem.
2nd and 10 from the 16. Here he is, Jones. Stopped as he reaches the line of scrimmage. Until Perryman is there. 3rd down. That's long.
Now, how about Tierra Tart? I thought he might have jumped. He got such a quick first step right there. That's going to be a matchup to keep our eye on. Tart, I think, is having a great year. And they've had some issues with Ryan Kelly at center. Of course, not able to go. They went to Michael Jordan. He wasn't very successful. And they moved Blake Brangle, 64 in there, who's really more of a corner at tackle. Although it's the 3rd start in his career at center.
And 3rd down and 10. Jordan Mason is now the back. Wentz under pressure, gets it away. Up at the 32-yard line by Justin Jefferson. They get the big man into the action immediately.
It's a heck of a job here by Tart, because you know the pressure's coming. They bring 5 up, they end up rushing 4. He gets hit right as he throws the ball. I don't know how he got anything on that football, but when in down on 3rd down, you're always going to look up Jefferson. Good job of sinking in that zone, finding that soft spot. But what a job by the Carson Wentz, showing you his strength at 6'5", 237, playing through some pain on that left shoulder.
It was Leon Henley who hit him. He gets 16 on the 3rd and 10. First down now at the 32-yard line. Back to the ground, cutting to the outside. The former 49er Mason picked up in a trade in the opening. Gain of a couple will be 2nd down and 8 for the Vikings.
There's so much emphasis on Jesse Minter and this Chargers defense. You know, you mentioned in the open, they started 3-0, had a lot of confidence, all 3 divisional matchups in these last 4 weeks with a lot of injuries. They've just not quite been the same team. Not as physical at the line of scrimmage. Bad eyes on the back end. It was most noticeable last week against Daniel Jones and the Colts.
Last year they gave up only 18 points per game. They've allowed 31 per game over the last 3. 2nd and 8 to the outside goes the pass. Madison had a big game last Sunday. He's out of bounds, close to a first down. Broke away from Dante Jackson. Sets up a 3rd down and 1 for the Vikings.
Jesse Minter's scheme against Kevin O'Connell. He wants to keep the ball in front, especially after last week against Jonathan Taylor. And as I mentioned, Daniel Jones gave up too many explosive 9 plays of 15 yards or more. So the goal tonight, keep everything in front and make Carson Wentz and his Vikings offense be consistent in driving the ball in the length of the field.
From the 41, 3rd and 1. And now Jefferson is going to line up in the backfield. Wentz rolling under pressure. Has to just feed it away. Great pressure put on that time of the Chargers to make it 4th down and 1 at the 41. Derwin James, who blitzes a lot from the secondary, put the heat on.
Yeah, Jesse Minter rolled the dice here on his 3rd down and short. He's right here. He starts to sneak up. He's always near the line of scrimmage, but you can see they bring pressure from the other side as well. Nobody's able to pick him up, and Wentz doing everything he can to keep that play alive. But a good job of timing that up by Jesse Minter there on that 3rd down and short.
That's Darius Davis back to receive the kick. Ryan Wright is the punter. Vikings quickly come to the line. Fake it. They will not. Bearcats call for it. And made at the 17-yard line by Darius Davis. So, 3:20 into the game in LA on this Thursday night. A look at Newport Beach down the Kirk a very early. So if you, after the game start the nightmare, watch the Boogeyman, Bates Motel, and Teen Wolf screw your heart out. Coming up Friday, we come to LA where Herbert and the Chargers go to work from their own 17-yard line. Kamani Vidal is the running back. Starting the run. That goes nowhere. Jonathan Bernard gets into the backfield. Stopping for a loss. So Herbert picked in the 2000 draft just after Tua Tagovailoa. You can see he has the most pass attempts and pass yards in the NFL this season. Part of the reason is the top 2 running backs are out. Najee Harris gone for the season. Murray and Hampton will be back, they hope, sooner than later. So now you got Vidal as the running back, 2nd and 13. Herbert forced to make it a passing offense for a coach who loves to run the ball if he can. And that pass is picked up. Rodgers, those screens and interceptions, gets another one. Touchdown. Isaiah Rodgers. Against Cincinnati a few weeks ago.
And had a rough week last week against Philly. This time early in this game, steps up. They brought pressure there. You can see Metellus walking up, ends up bringing the pressure. That's a hop. He's trying to get the ball out. It's just behind. Good recognition by Rodgers. Did he complete that catch?
That's the question.
Let's make sure he caught that ball.
Football. Turnovers, you don't need to challenge this.
There's a great look here. It's as good a look as you're going to have.
And Terry McCauley is straining to get a better look at this. Terry, well, meanwhile, here's Blakeman.
He does get control prior to the ball touching the ground. You know, he's got to maintain control during and after contact with the ground. And that's that last little bit we see with the ball moving. Does he actually lose control with that right hand? He's good here. He's still good here. You know, he's still got the fingers wrapped around. I don't see enough to reverse right there.
The goal on the field, of course, was an interception and an 18-yard return for a touchdown.
And, of course, Brian Flores is well known. They are a pressure defense. Walk people up, they'll pressure you, they'll walk out. And they fooled the veteran Justin Herbert on his first series.
Well, the Charger offense is still out on the field at the moment. and the Minnesota defense is out of the field. Herbert's going to come over to the sideline as everybody looks up. Rodgers in that game against Cincinnati also had a 66-yard fumble return.
Harbaugh just waved it off and said it's incomplete.
Yep. And we see Herbert looking at his wristband.
Yes!
So Herbert and the Chargers catch a break. And that was a hot. He's thrown a little bit to the inside, thrown right into the arms of Rodgers. Looked like he had the pick six, but just unable to secure the ball as he fell to the ground. And now the good news for the Vikings is they got him behind the sticks, which is going to be a big story in this game tonight with Brian Flores in the pressure package that he lives by. Get him the third and long, and that's exactly where they have him.
Second week in a row, or in 4 days actually. Hopkinson thought he had a touchdown the other day. Took that one away. Take the Rodgers one away. They want to reset the play clock here at 40. And it's third down at 13. On the Chargers' first drive of the game. Pressure. On the
It's a first down. Yes.
and they were collapsing around him. They sent everybody in Brian's down in the Syracuse season for a first down.
And the tough thing is when they walk all these guys up, is communicating and making sure everybody's on the same page. Metellus ends up dropping. Vidal with a great pickup. And there's the threat of Herbert, the athletic ability, and stepping up, climbing in the pocket. You can see it gets the defense's attention. The eyes go to Herbert. And then the good job of recognizing Keenan Allen there in an open spot there for the first down.
Gain of 17. First down is 31-yard line. Through the middle. Nothing. Second down 10.
Brian Flores is as aggressive as they come as a defensive coordinator. A lot of people trying to mimic his scheme and his aggressive approach. Greg Roman on the other side as a play caller. But boy, they came into this year thinking, okay, we've gotten stronger in the interior. We're going to do a good job of running the football. We got two good backs in Amari and Hampton and Najee Harris. Of course, they're injured. The line's been injured, so they had to go back to Herbert being in gun, throwing the football 65% of the time.
Second and 11. Pressure again. Gets it away. Caught close to a first down. Rondé Jackson, the second, who's now played 6 years with the Dolphins at the turn of the century, and he had some game on Sunday. Had a Syracuse draft choice, 164-yard game Sunday.
Yeah, it was his coming out party. I think a lot of people, he's a fifth rounder. I don't know if a lot of people knew what he's capable of doing this year, but he has shown signs even prior to last week of being a difference maker, a tough matchup, even for a guy like Harrison Smith. Has the size, almost wide receiver skill set. They say he's up to 250 pounds now as a tight end.
Third down and 2, and into the game comes Jared Patterson, who was just activated. Played with Scottish Bowl Buffalo as a little back. He's with Washington in 21 and 22. His last carry until now was in 2022.
Think about that. And he comes in on third and short. There's Amari Hampton, the rookie out of North Carolina, who they had such high hopes for and still do. Hope to have him back in a few weeks on the IR currently. What a heck of a job there. Third and short, Jared Patterson bounces off that linebacker, Blake Cashman for the first.
Adding a pistol.
First down. Yes.
Who was their leading receiver last
Oh,
year
wait, hold on.
as
Hold
a
on.
rookie tackle.
Look.
Back to Herbert being in gun, throwing the football 65% of the time.
Second and 11. Pressure again. Gets it away.
Got the first down. Yes.
Rondé Jackson, the second, who's now played 6 years with the Dolphins at the turn of the century, and he had some game on Sunday. Had a Syracuse draft choice, 164-yard game Sunday.
Yeah, it was his coming out party. I think a lot of people, he's a fifth rounder. I don't know if a lot of people knew what he's capable of doing this year, but he has shown signs even prior to last week of being a difference maker, a tough matchup, even for a guy like Harrison Smith. Has the size, almost wide receiver skill set. They say he's up to 250 pounds now as a tight end.
Third down and 2. And into the game.
Got the first down. Yes.
Who was just activated by the Scottsboro Buffaloes with Khalil Mack. Was with Washington in 21-22. His last carry until now was in 2022.
Think about that. And he comes in on third and short. There's Amari Hampton, the rookie out of North Carolina, who they had such high hopes for and still do. Hope to have him back in a few weeks on the IR currently. What a heck of a job there. Third and short, Jared Patterson bounces off that linebacker, Blake Caston for the first.
Having a pistol, pass to the outside, Ladd McConkey, who was their leading receiver last year, as a rookie tackle there by Harrison Smith.
As if the Chargers need more bad news on the injury front. Kai Becton was out there limping around, and he ended up going off of the field. So Foster Sarell ends up coming in. There he is right there, the big fella. Came over from Philly. Been playing through some pain to begin with.
Glad to get Bobby Hart out of retirement. He hadn't played in a couple of years. To bring him in as the right tackle. Pace and glue up front for this team. Herbert
Got the first down. Yes.
Well, the trend continues of Herbert continuing to get hit. He's been hit more than any quarterback this year in the entire NFL. He knows it. You know, it's coming. Split safeties, the weakness there, of course, is you got to be able to get the ball thrown down the middle of the field. Didn't take too big a hit there from Ivan Pace, but he's been pressured here early in this game.
He's taking 9 hits per game. Pressured 22 times per game. Keep it on the ground now. Vidal. Stopped there by Ivan Pace Jr. Second down.
You think of Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman. What do you think of? You think of 300-pound fullbacks. You think of 2 tight ends. You think of physicality, control the line of scrimmage. But like we talked about, there's been so many injuries up front to the offensive line, to their 2 featured backs that they've had to come up with different ways. But I think they're confident they can get back on the ball tonight.
They go 3 tight ends here. On a second down and 4. Screwing his way is Vidal for a gain of about 3, so it's 3rd and 1.
I think a big reason they feel more confident. Number one, the Vikings have had some issues with kind of picking up for his esteem with some new personnel on the defensive line. The other thing is Joe, you can see how big he is. 6'8", 322-pounder. Out of the game, played right tackle last year, but with Rashawn Slater out, has had to move over to the left side, and he's back this game, which is huge for the Trojans.
Thad John, who's about as big, 13 years in Kansas City. 3rd and 1. For play action. Steps up.
First down. Yes. Pull out this flag in the field.
Big game, but a flag is down.
Late hit. They hit him late and high. Dallas Turner, the second-year man out of Alabama.
Yes. Yes.
Good job of avoiding that pressure from Bernard, yeah. And then Dallas Turner comes in high, actually lunges up into the air and hits it. So you get the completion. Yep, get the completion. And you tack on more yards for the penalty.
So the ball now at the 9. It's going to be 1st and goal on the Chargers' opening drive. This will be the 12th play of the drive. Total balance, 5 runs, 6 passes. Vidal with the fullback, Matlock in the backfield. Left up. Bernard that time. Second at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal.
He collapses down. Just no respect at all, no concern for anything bouncing outside. And if he saw the formation you're talking about, and watch him just get downhill in a hurry. No chance for anybody to pick him up. Really good instincts. Has a great first step. Remember, the Chargers have been struggled in the red zone. Only 10 touchdowns and 24 red zone drives. That's 2nd worst in the entire NFL. Can they finish this drive off?
Only the Raiders have been worse inside the 20. 2nd and goal. Look out. Herbert Tries to escape. He does. Herbert will work his way down the 7-yard line. Bernard was there. You don't think of Herbert as being necessarily a mobile quarterback, and that time, of course, he was just escaping. But when he scrambles, he's averaging 12 yards per carry.
Yeah, he gets out of there, and he's tough to bring down at 6'6", 236. Watch Bernard again, set the edge. Now keep your eye on him. Looks like he's out of his way. Instead, he finishes the play. Really good back-to-back efforts by Bernard. It gives you an idea of how he can be effective against the run, and obviously as a pass rusher.
This drive has consumed 7.5 minutes. 3rd and goal on the 14th play of this drive.
Into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Yes.
There's a late flag at Fox talking to the officials.
Hold on, there's a flag in the field.
Coming on the celebration. Meanwhile, Gaston picks up right where he left off 4 days ago.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Here's your matchup right here. Good job of giving him just enough time. Good stem there to sell it to the outside. That's a matchup you're thinking you're going to win. And then Joe Alton, who again is at left tackle against Bernard. Good spin move to get in towards Herbert. And there's the taunting penalty after he beats him in a one-on-one matchup. The Chargers do finish that drive off.
Well, you got the sun and the star right there. That could change the offense. You get a tight end like that out of nowhere.
Think about that. This goes from a pick 6 to a 14-play touchdown drive.
Consuming 7:39.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 86 for Los Angeles.
Doesn't matter.
Which they left the ticket from the 15-yard line to the 30-yard line and kicked. It's also this foul counts as the first towards disqualification. His on the play is a touchdown.
Okay, so that moves the ball back now. They'll snap it from the 30. Dicker setting up for the extra point, which would be, in effect, a 48-yard extra point. He has not missed a kick, a field goal, or an extra point all season. Can we put the kibosh on him? Whoa! Almost. Very close.
An idea of who is the biggest threat, not on the defensive line, but that second and third level of a defense. Something to keep an eye on.
Well, it's Brian Flores. It could be everybody.
That's so true. What an answer by Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, these Chargers offense.
When you think about that drive, you had Rodgers with a touchdown, but it was overturned. They made it a 3rd and 13. They converted to Allen and went all the way down the field. So a big-time turn of events. Meanwhile, you got a flag.
Flag is
that comes
down.
in the kickoff. And it's run back to the moment and then push shot. There's Miles Price. But the flag was thrown as the ball was kicked off at that point. So somebody moved before they should have. Jake Blakeman. Gets together with his colleagues and will tell us momentarily who moved first.
Terry, you see this?
Yeah, Kirk, it's the floater at the bottom. He's just out of our screen. He's moving as the kicker's approaching. He can't do that. His feet have to be stationary. There he comes. Here he comes. And now the kicker's started. He can't do that. He has to be stationary.
That guy at pace.
Illegal formation in the receiving team. The 5-yard
Yes!
penalty. And then the run. First down.
So Carson Wentz, as we mentioned before, 6 teams, 6 years. He's got to have his mindset go around the fact that he's not going to be the starter either. He's been the backup every place he's been since Philadelphia.
I think about the places he's been, the coaches he's been able to learn from, including Sean McVay, Andy Reid. Got a great attitude about this stage of his career, where he is, and what an asset when your starter goes down to be able to rely on a guy who's played a lot of football.
The toss here to Mason, and Mason is hit in the backfield and surges forward to about the line of scrimmage. Perryman hit it first. Loss of 1, second down and 11.
And just the early outset of this game, this looks like, as you expect, a different defense for Jesse Minter. Just the energy, the attitude. Perryman coming back last week, a little rusty. He'd been out since week 1 when he hurt an ankle against Kansas City. Khalil Mack, only 12 snaps last week. You're seeing him obviously back. He's such an enforcer in setting the edge. So this defense, with some of the leadership back, looks different and feels different.
Play action, second and 11. Look out.
Well, not good.
Gets away. Throws downfield and looks for Addison, but that pass is incomplete. Khalil Mack was there. Khalil Mack missing 4 games with an elbow injury. Came back last week and played only 12 of 60 snaps. Hopes to play more tonight.
Yeah, I think he'll be out there the majority of the snaps. You see Hawkinson, who's out there on this chip. Now Spool tries to pick him up with Brian O'Neill out. That is a big loss at right tackle for the Vikings. But give credit to Carson Wentz, another big quarterback, 6'5", about 240 pounds, able to pull away from Khalil Mack.
30-11, talking about the Chargers' offensive problems along the line. Vikings in that same boat. Look at right there.
Ah, yeah.
Gets sacked back at the 9-yard line. Justin Whiteby comes in for the sack. Second-year man out of Alabama. It's a 4th and 19.
Yeah, when you have an offensive line that's had the injuries that they've had, you're going to see movement up front. And when you have that kind of movement, it can affect the communication. Donovan Jackson himself working back from injury. 74, you see it goes inside, goes down, and really the entire pocket just collapses on top of Wentz.
Brian Wright, his second punt. The first one was good for 42 yards. And that one off the side of his foot, but it stays in bounds and takes a nice hop for the Vikings. So not a work of art, but fairly effective anyway, as it's down at the 41-yard line. Chargers with the ball again in a 7-0 lead at SoFi.
Some people might give you one pizza for $9.99. Little Caesars.
A bunch of times. It's a busy joint. Chargers to the 41-yard line and offside by the Vikings. There's
Flag
the
is down.
here, and the pass is dropped by McConkey. In his hands, it was a free play there to get 5, but that's all. Bernard came across the line.
That's something you don't see. Pat McConkey dropping an uncontested pass.
Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
They've been
Yeah.
having success with these slot receivers in that opening drive, and Harry Conkey, I don't know if the defense, that's just, what the heck? I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know if they got lost in the lights.
Shaking his head as are we. Jared Patterson comes back into the game as the running back. They give it to him. Needs 5, and it's close to it.
So Jared Patterson looks good to go back to the opening drive. And the Vikings blitz Justin Herbert 7 of the 8 dropbacks. But give credit to the line, and especially to Herbert stepping up, being a threat as a runner, then keeping his eyes downfield, making a big conversion there on 3rd down. Here again, they'll show you different looks. Sometimes they blitz, sometimes they don't. Gets pressure. Great job with the split safeties. Getting the tight end down the seam there for a nice touchdown to finish that drive off.
2nd down 1.
It's a first down. Yes.
Guys, earlier you saw Chargers right guard Mekhi Becton limping off the field. He hasn't returned. They say he's questionable because of a knee injury.
All right, so James Foster Sorrell will come in. There he was trying to work through this.
You see him shaking that head. and I don't think I can do it.
Not yet, anyway. Final minute of the quarter. First out. Fed, protection good this time. Braxton again for the 37 has already cut 4 now. Great Harrison Smith in his 14th year makes the tackle there.
It's a nice job of just kind of waiting and being patient. See Joe Alt again inserted back in at left tackle. Missed the last 3 games. It's going to be a heck of a matchup all night with he and 58 going toe-to-toe. We've already saw that in the opening series. Bernard is a handful. Checks out here for his second down play.
20 seconds left in the quarter. Second down and 3.
Got the first down, yes.
Goes Vidal, and that should take us to the second quarter. So the Chargers have run 18 plays to Minnesota's 9. And as we go to
Let's do the quarter 1.
Yeah, we'll try to help on the edges. We'll try to help inside where we can, see if we can get the ball out. We've had a good chance to use some quick passing over the last few weeks. We'll see if we can do that and get some catching runs for some of our guys.
And back to live action, we talked about Herbert and his scrambling and averaging 12 yards per scramble. Here he goes again for a gain of 18.
And a really good job of filling the linebackers in depth. But what I want you to watch is off to the left Vidal, the running back, who helps him out right there with a block of Metellus, giving more room to be able to pick up valuable yardage. So Vidal running hard, picking up blitzes, picking up blocks downfield, playing well.
Nice job, 6th-round pick last year out of Troy. Yeah, so moving those legs again. They signed Najee Harris. They wanted Harris and Hampton, the top pick, to be the guys, but they're both hurt. So now it's up to this kid.
And Greg Roman going with Tucker Fisk, 42. You know, it's a monster. 6'4", 285-pound tight end out of Stanford. Scott Matlock out there as well, 300-pound fullback. So that's what you expect from a Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh offense. We haven't seen a lot of it because of the injuries. We're seeing it tonight.
2nd and 6. Herbert rolling, loves to roll to his right. Here he goes again. And Herbert fighting his way for what he hopes will be a first down. He's very close to it. Tackled by Eric Wilson. Gain of 6 for him.
And I think it's important to talk about when he gets under center and they bring Fisk in, 42 and Matlock, 44, and they start running downhill. It sets up the boot game and a play-action game. And Herbert himself, as you can see, he's a tough guy when he takes off and runs the ball, not just on a scramble. But at 6'6", 235 pounds, he's an instinctive runner.
1st and goal. 6 rushes, 1 pass on this drive. Make it a 7th rush. And make it
Touchdown, yes. Kimani Vidal.
So the Chargers come flying out of the game after on Sunday they dug a 23-3 halftime hole. Different story tonight.
Yeah, there's a long way to go tonight. But just a couple possessions in, it's amazing what Joe Alt's presence has done to this offensive line, the much maligned offensive line with these injuries. It's helping Zion Johnson, Bradley Bozeman, even with the right side. There's just more continuity, more belief when you have your anchor back in at that left tackle spot.
Cameron Dicker with the extra point, and that is good. 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Taking care of holiday to-dos with AI.
And that makeshift offensive line, 55 rush yards, 70 through the air.
They look like a different offense, really. They've had to adjust from one scheme to another. They've been more shotgun and more throwing the football, spreading defenses out. But Joe Alt back in, and see the fullbacks back out on that field and tight ends. Or really what you expect from this style of offense with Roman and Harbaugh.
Dicker sends it down to the 6. Miles Price, the running back. Saw his feet. finally knocked down at the 30. Okay.
Guys, let's take a trip to the legendary Troubadour Rock Club in West Hollywood to tune up on Carson Wentz's NFL gigs. The second overall pick in 2016, this time with Philly, and did it in 2020. After that, it was stops in Indianapolis and Washington, followed by stints here in LA and Kansas City as backups to Matthew Stafford and Patrick Mahomes. And with his opportunity in Minnesota, Wentz is the first quarterback in NFL history to start a game for 6 different teams in 6 straight seasons. Talk about a true roadie, right?
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Ball at the 30-yard line for the Vikings to start this drive. Wentz. That has been knocked away that time, intended for Jefferson. Cam Hart, you know, you forget about Wentz, drafted in 2016. Jared Goff won 1, he won 2. Goff coming to the Rams. And he was having an MVP kind of season at 17. Who knows what would have happened? He got hurt toward the end of the season in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. And then, of course, that paved the way for Nick Foles.
Yeah, opened the door up. And Wentz had an opportunity. Maybe he was a starter in 21, and since then he's been a backup.
Right, and Washington, I think, got the start there under Ron Rivera at first and got benched shortly thereafter. Meanwhile, on the ground this time, they picked up a 5 here for Aaron Jones, 3rd down and 5.
And Wentz, you know, you can think about what he's had to deal with tonight. Take a look at our next gen stats powered by AWS. See the pressure for the 6 dropbacks. He has been pressured. I noticed in that opening series, there was so much pressure. His eyes, instead of looking downfield, reading coverage, he's looking and concerned about that pocket collapsing on him. 7 different Chargers have pressured him tonight. So it's not just Khalil Mack, it's across the board.
Chargers have 11 first downs, and Minnesota has 1. 3rd and 5. In the pocket, to the outside, is that hold in? Justin Jefferson makes the catch. Inbound, Stan Hart with the coverage. First down, their 2nd.
Yeah, how about that ball? Here we are talking about his career, what he's been through, and he's been pressured for 6. Here's his eyes. He sees the matchup, but he gets hit as he releases that ball. He couldn't have handed that to Justin Jefferson any better. And for a team that's down 14, they need an answer, and he just delivered there to keep this drive alive on that 3rd down pass.
From the 45. Changes the call. Little toss back here. Jones backs his way to the 48-yard line. Aaron back off the injured list. And bringing his right hand and wrist is Carson Wentz.
Go back to the previous play on the 1st down. Remember the pressure we talked about, but as he followed through on that helmet, the backside, it looked like Khalil Mack. You can see right away his reaction. That is painful. You see it super slow motion. It's one thing when you're coming through with all that velocity and you hit that helmet. So he's got the left shoulder and now the right hand he's dealing with.
7 and 6 over that hand. He delivers a perfect spiral to Justin Jefferson and a first down at the 40.
It's good to see 18 hit the ball here when he gets into a rhythm. And obviously this offense really could take off. See soft coverage, able to just take the inside, easy glance route, on time, out in front. Hopefully this will get Wentz and this offense into a rhythm. We face a lot of zoners. Mack at his elbow looked at.
Wentz to the outside. Caught by Jones. Scampers out at the 37. Back to go to Candy.
Well, guys, Carson Wentz is trying to get something cooking while the Chargers secondary is piecing it together. Safety Derwin James is questionable to return to the game with an ankle injury. His backup, Tony Jefferson, also questionable because of a hamstring injury. So you've got the rookie R.J. Mickens in that safety spot.
That's big news. James has played every snap this season until now.
And Mickens, along with the rest of some of those younger safeties last week, eyes in the backfield, had very, very poor eyes and affected them against the Eagles.
2nd and 8. He's in the pocket, tipped in the air and incomplete. Almost picked and then almost carried off the hands of Perriman into the arms of Justin Jefferson. And not incomplete, they're down there.
And Al Perriman doing this since his experience. Wants him guard out. He's going to the slot receiver. He's just in a foot race to get out to get underneath that football. So he shows Flint's full sprint to get out underneath it. It worked perfectly, just unable to hold on to that interception.
3rd and 8. Mason is the back. Breaks out the 3. Clap. Get it away. Pass underneath is caught. The tackle is made there in Mason by Cam Hart. So 4th down and 5 now. They've got a great kicker. Reichert's terrific. This game featuring 2 of the best in the league. So he comes in for a 54-yard attempt. Will Reichert. His only miss this year was when he hit with the camera in London. And this one is...
Vikings made the field goal.
So he knocks that one through for 50. To receive for the Chargers. And that kick is fielded at the 1-yard line, right in the corner of Darius Davis. Davis brings it back out to the 26-yard line.
Well, Kamani Vidal is a great story. He got cut at the end of camp, ends up coming back as a practice squad guy. He's activated week 6 and taking advantage of an opportunity. Their top 3, their top 4 backs are out, so it's up to him. He's doing a little bit of everything. Running football, low center of gravity, really good vision. I love it because of his story. He runs angry, runs with a purpose and trying to prove himself. And tonight, this offense, they have used a lot of different personnel groupings, 7 on 22 snaps. So Greg Roman has it working tonight.
Now, Vidal, storied career at Troy. Chargers got him in the 6th round last year. Matlock moving. Play action. Herbert.
That's the swap up. It's the first down. Yes.
For 78 yards, that one good for 41.
Here's Vidal again.
Pass is caught by Oyonde Gadsden the second.
Great blitz pickup, and now you look at working for the backside. Herbert felt that pressure, stepped up, and Gadsden, believe it or not, I think he got lost in coverage. Good job of recognizing that by Herbert after he stepped up. He's been moving around a lot tonight in that pocket.
Nothing happening here. Vidal stopped by Gaffney. You know, it's interesting. Last week, they gave Antonio Gates his Hall of Fame ring. He already has the jacket, they gave him the ring. So on the day when they honor one of the great tight ends in the history of the National Football League, this guy has a breakout day. And tonight, here he is again.
Yeah, I think he's feeling it after last night. Maybe Gates inspired him. He looked great last week, and you can tell he's a difficult matchup because of his size. 6'5", 250, gaining confidence every week, and I think more importantly, those wide receiver skill sets makes him so tough to match up with safety.
2nd and 11.
Oh, he did it. He jumped offside. The penalty declined. Yes.
Free play and a 1st down.
Offside. Defense number 15. That penalty declined. It's over the play for 1st down.
Keep in mind tonight, as you watch Justin Herbert, no quarterback's been hit more than Herbert. No quarterback's been pressured more than Herbert. And a lot of that, of course, has to do with the offensive line and the injuries, the scheme. He's had to go back to carrying a lot of the offense with these injuries. And he's been pressured tonight, but they've had a different package. It feels it's a little bit more balanced, a little bit more about physicality and running the football as opposed to just sitting back there in the gun every play.
Well, they're going to check out one of the officials who, that is Andy Warner, who is the down judge. just making sure that he is okay. Going through the protocol here. Look at a smile, and I want to stay in. And
The player jogging onto the field just ran into him. It's Hargrave.
There you go.
By the way, that's its helmet hitting his face.
It was a
He shook
mistake
off
for
pretty good.
him.
300-pounder hits you in the face.
Yeah, you should have seen Terry grimacing when he saw that. He knows that feeling. Or maybe he doesn't. Meanwhile, first down at the 24-yard line. A little over 7 minutes to play in the opening half. Herbert dancing away, and he gets sacked from behind. Bernard chasing him down. So they finally get to Herbert. He's been sacked now 21 times this season, in addition to all those pressures and hits you just talked about.
Yeah, and Ivan Pace actually creates this opportunity with the blitz into the interior that takes 44 and 30, occupies them both, and that frees up Bernard to be able to work around the edge. And Herbert can move. I mean, he's got speed. It gives you an idea of Bernard, who's been working from the left, and that time lined up on the offensive right side, able to chase him down, almost knocked the ball out.
2nd and 17. That's in motion. And pass is thrown into the ground. And incomplete. 3rd down and 17.
Defense just took that screen away. Nothing he could do. Smart play to just eat it, throw it down, give you a chance here. They've converted a couple of 3rd and longs, and they're going to face another one against this shredded defense when it comes to 3rd downs.
Brian Flores, head coach of Miami a few years back, really found his niche in Minnesota. 3rd and 17. Herbert hands in there, throws, that's incomplete. Coffee was the intended receiver.
Good pull for field goal.
Hargrave put the pressure on, and it's 4th down and 17.
It's not just that they show pressure and back out or show pressure and come, but they twist with that. And again, how do you communicate with some backup offensive linemen? That time it was Sorrell, the right guard, who's imperfected. And then they play man coverage on the back end. Good tight coverage that time by Byron Murphy. Coffee wants the flag. Good no call.
29-yard attempt. For years, the Chargers were a mess in terms of trying to find a place kicker. And then they came upon this guy, and he's been fabulous. Cameron Dicker. 4th year, got his college ball at Texas. Tries to connect from 49 out.
Oh no!
Because Austin before.
Chargers missed the field goal. Kevin Dicker missed the
Vikings
field
in the
goal.
back, 6:06 to play in the half. Chargers 14, Vikings 3.
Given up under Jim Harbaugh. Teams have been gashing the Chargers on the ground. Their last 5 opponents have averaged 140 rush yards per game. But guys, the numbers look a little different so far tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Rushing 10 yards, passing 41 yards. So they're averaging only 3 yards per play overall. They get it here after the missed field goal from the 39-yard line. Start on the ground, gain of 4. Jordan Mason, flag back.
Holding, offense number 74. 3-yard penalty for 1st down.
Donovan Jackson, the left guard.
Yes! Jackson got holding penalty.
And it worked to his outside. So he's lined up here, and he works outside. You can see Jackson came down, and then because he went the other way, he had to work around to try to keep him away from the back, and in doing so, he held on to it.
So 1st and 20. Already 5 penalties tonight.
Donovan Jackson got a holding penalty.
Outside, Jefferson, and out there around the corner. Short game.
But the defense that Tanner is talking about and how they look a lot so far. And it looks like he may not come back. So R.J. Mickens is in, but Elijah Molden, who missed last week, also back. Number 2, kind of a calming influence there in the back end.
And maybe the Vikings are saying, you've got problems. Zarashaw's out of the game. The left tackle, that pass is caught about 2 yards shy of the first down by Justin Jefferson. Setting up 3rd and 2.
What a job of getting this out on time. And again, when it's third down, you're trying to find the middle of that defense with the safety split. Here's the rookie Mickens who comes in. See how he just throws it in that open hole in that zone defense. Good job of cutting it out early and getting so he can get down and protect himself and get a real shot, obviously, here on 3rd and short.
Here he is, over 8,000 yards now for the receiving yards. Second fastest to 8,000 in NFL history. Exceeded only by Lance Allworth, the great Charger of days of yore. 3rd and 2. Batted up in the air and knocked down by Wentz, and you can tell he's really hurt too. Still is there. Now Wentz holds his shoulder. The backup quarterback is Max Grossman, who's only played a couple of snaps this season. So Wentz, who hurt his right hand before, now it's the left elbow or arm.
And it's still on the blitz 29. Watch after he throws it, he goes up, and I don't know if he's trying to work to get to that ball. Whatever happened, it was when he, after the follow-through, you could see it still hit that left shoulder. He clearly tweaked it, re-injured it. He's in a lot of pain.
No question. He goes to the bench. They punt right now with Wright sending it down to Davis. Davis comes up flat as thrown. And Davis from the 14 back to the 22.
Flag is down.
So McCarthy's in uniform, and he's the emergency quarterback tonight. They want to keep him out at least for a little longer. So they would have to go to Max Grossman, a rookie out of Minnesota, if Wentz can't come back out.
They're all over checking him out. He's obviously grimacing. He is in a lot of pain here. I mean, you can already see the brace.
Colby, receiving team number 36. Pelly's half the distance to the goal line from the end of the kick. First down.
4:04 to the half. The Chargers up by 11.
Justin Taylor got
This is a hot flash. This is a not flash. This is a
Hoping he can get back into the game. Looks like he will. Chargers start from the 6-yard line on this drive. 3, 4, 5, 12. We got a hit.
Guys, when Carson Wentz came over to the sideline, he spoke with doctors, but there was no formal exam. Just yesterday, he told us he felt good enough to play in this game as he was dealing with managing the pain in that left shoulder. But he is wearing a more stabilizing shoulder brace tonight compared to what he was wearing just 4 days against the Eagles. Tonight's brace includes range-restricting straps on the front and back side of that non-throwing shoulder.
So a look at it there. Look to all the world that he might be done for the night. But up and at him and ready to come back in. Second down and 7. Catch is made at the 10-yard line. Trey Harris, a rookie out of Mississippi, Isaiah Rodgers makes that.
Yeah, they think Trey Harris has a really bright future. Physical guy, been a willing blocker, 6'3", 210 out of Ole Miss. So a good target for Herbert to find. But we got to, this offense, near the end of this first half, under 3 minutes to go. Big opportunity for the Vikings to try to get off the field here, try to get the ball back.
3rd down and 5. Chargers will get the ball when we start the second half. Herbert.
got the first down. Yes.
That's in the first down.
They had him stacked there with a tight end, Gadsden, and really, he's so good at being patient. Always has been throughout his entire career. And just kind of waits for Gadsden to clear. He's got man coverage. Ball's low and away, exactly where it needs to be for the first down. but a good job of identifying the matchup for Herbert to get that first down.
Herbert now 11 out of 14 for 133. Rolling, buying time, keeps his eyes downfield.
Got the first down. Yes.
That's going to be a first down and a lot more for Matt McConkey, who takes it to the 34 and takes us to the 2-minute warning. Chargers 14, Vikings 3 in the break.
He beats the 2-minute line.
Catching a deep ball from quarterback Spencer Rattler and outracing Giants safety Tyler Newman for an 87-yard touchdown reception. Score more today with Little Caesars. Little Caesars is the real deal.
Pizza.
Well, our illustrious halftime crew that deserted us went up to 405 and went to the new studio in Culver City. There they are, and that's where they will do the halftime show from. Coming up at halftime. And there's Wood with the basketball. You think he?
I think he's playing.
Yeah, low post.
Yeah,
He's good. Yep. Back we come now. It's 1st and 10. Chargers. At the end of the half. They're going to get the ball again. Here goes Herbert.
Got the first down. Yes.
With a huge gain off the scramble with a 47-yard tackle by Kingston. And once again, Herbert leading the team in rushing. 4 carries, 44 yards. That's good for 18.
Watch the two linebackers worry about receivers. Nobody there to account for Herbert. He's threatened with his legs. More often than not, threatened to throw. That time took off and got yards.
Number 49, the shoulder shake. Here he goes again. And this time only for him. Nothing gained 7 yards.
Go back to our Zoom with him this week. One of the first things you told him was, hey, man, you know, you're pretty good at this scramble thing. Why don't you do it a few more times? It's like, middle note. Got it. Thanks, Al.
He's got it. We're back at 30 seconds.
AT&T's been carrying America's calls since 1876. When you've been around that long, you can spot a hustle coming from a mile away. T-Mobile.
With every lineman's worst fear from the inside. Jonathan Allen gets pushed out. Keep an eye on that right ankle. You can see it right there. Kind of gets stuck underneath. He came up from that limping a little bit, but it's still in the game.
And it's 2nd down and 3. After the Chargers took their first time out, 1:16 to the half. Herbert fires over the middle, caught on the run. The tackle is made there on Matt McConkey.
They've been using these stacked formations.
Got the first down.
Yeah. And he's able to get separation because he wanted the line of scrimmage.
Could have saved a lot more of what would have been a bigger game. With the tackle from behind, that pass was not one-handed by Keenan Allen. Trying to hold it in, could not. Kuda covering on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Well, he throws a pretty ball downfield with the velocity and the way he has the ability to carry it anywhere on the field. Every receiver is in play. Times they'll show you those 2 tight ends with 2 fullbacks and pound you, and then other times they get into a 2-minute offense. They can spread you out 53 and a third horizontally and make you stretch and defend every ounce of grass.
2nd and 10. Going for it all.
Touchdown. Yes.
Safety look. This is really what he's looking at. If the safety comes down, he knows he's got the one-on-one matchup. Exactly what he had. Another try by Matt McConkey, being able to separate. A couple times we've seen him on this drive. The last 3 plays win, and that time just one.
matchup with Jeffrey Okudah went right by him.
Dicker for the point after. And that one didn't take long. 3:19 to go. 94 yards. 3 runs, 6 passes, and the Chargers are up 21-3.
Josh McCown is quarterback coach and former teammate. 45 seconds left, 3 timeouts remaining.
Meanwhile, that's a penalty.
That's a bad kick.
Yeah, so now you got a real shot here.
40-yard line. That's where they'll take over here. They have all of their timeouts. And they only have 45 seconds here.
And how important a drive just to try to get points here. No question with the Chargers having the ball back to start the second half.
The kick failed to reach the landing zone. It bounced at the 41-yard line. Therefore, it's Minnesota's ball at the 41-yard line. First down.
That's what we call a swing and a miss there.
Foul tip. And the Vikings at least get to the field goal range. That something can happen before the end of the half. We're already down by 18. So Wentz, who was wincing when we last saw him come off the field, but appears to be okay. A bulky left shoulder, fires, caught, inside the 45. Greg Addison comes off that big game last week. Timeout ball here, 38 seconds.
And go back to this touchdown. Theo Jackson was so concerned with Keenan Allen. You might be wondering, why is he slow playing? Why isn't he working to the outside to worry about Ladd McConkey? It's because his eyes are on 13. He's concerned about the potential, and they were kind of bracketing with his eyes worried about maybe an option route or inside route, so they were willing to leave McConkey on an island with Jeff Okudah. And McConkey makes him pay for it.
You talk about symmetry for the Chargers. McConkey has scored 5 for 77 yards. Gadsden has scored 5 for 77 yards.
The Vikings finally able to get Addison involved. That was his first reception. He is a really good option if you pay too much attention to Justin Jefferson.
And receivers set to the left. Wentz is going to
He's sacked. Yes. They'll have to take a timeout.
Well, how great would it be for Jesse Minter in this defense if he just keeps coming on, getting better and better. Good job of using his hands, gets that offensive tackle off of him, and then is able to finish. He had 10.5 sacks last year in Baltimore, knows what to do in these kind of situations. I think it's just a matter of just being more comfortable with his surroundings.
Second timeout taken. And Minnesota second down and 11 with 32 seconds.
This is where you love Justin Jefferson to be able to make the play for you. He's down at the bottom, isolated by himself.
Sacked. Yes. And like you said, Colts should take this last timeout.
Strong, powerful guy, but watch the athletic ability. Moves inside, works around, shows the patience. And Wentz, I mean, love to see him kind of feel this and get the ball out. You can't take this sack knowing you got to use another timeout. You get further back and out of field goal range.
Totally. Final timeout, we got 26 seconds. 3rd and 18. So the Chargers have flipped it. As record warms up, they were down 23-3 right out of the game after halftime last week against the Colts, and now they're up 21-3. 3rd and 18.
Good sweep shot. Fires.
Gotta hurry.
Jefferson. They have no timeouts. Racing.
Good job of being aware. They're ready to go. They have plenty of time here to set this up.
Yeah, it's 4th and 1. Set up the field goal attempt. This is a 53-yarder. They go for Riker, and it is.
He missed the field goal.
The accuracy, but not the distance. And that's the half. And that's the way it ends. Chargers get the second half kickoff. Kind of weird to be smiling the way in the locker room. 21-3 is the halftime
The
score.
only thing I can think of, like you with your driver, I think you hit the ground. It's more minutes of football, got to protect him. And, finish this thing.
Your pass rush has consistently gotten after Carson Wentz. How have they been able to do that?
Yeah, they're coming off the ball, and got to continue. You know, this good to see a big drive forward, too, opening up the second half. Thank you.
And the second half begins with a run here by Dell. Having a nice night. Statistically, it's not that great. 12 carries, 31 yards, but he's picked up some important yards. And they can go to him as a receiver, even though they haven't done that yet.
No, I think he's impressive. I mean, you lose 3 of your top 4 backs. You're going down to the practice squad to try to find some depth. And Hyde also has stepped up in his first half, not only running the football, but pass protection, good all around. Having a great night.
2nd and 3. Of course, the leading rusher is the quarterback. Now takes this out to the 50-yard line. Glidell is longest carry of the night, gain 9 in the first down.
A great double team right here, and then you'll see again, be able to climb up. Nice job of being able to just kind of open that up. That's good. Good job playing through that ankle pain. And there's the eyes of it all. He just runs with an attitude. Very tough to bring down. You can see how quick and sudden he can be when he gets the ball in his hands getting downhill.
Great shot. Reminds me of the old shots of Mike Singletary. The 48. Again. Goes to the first. Let's see where they spot it. So they gave it to him 3 times in a row. 48 yards. Greg Roman making the call.
Yeah, Greg Roman's got to really appreciate what he's seeing. He talked about, I had a chance to catch up with him this week. He said, we're going to be aggressive. We want to try to spread them out and deal with Brian Flores and his attacking defense. But as the game goes on, we feel we can get into our old traditional look, which is tight ends and fullbacks, and lean on him and wear him down.
Jared Patterson, just up in the practice squad. He takes the handoff and he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 at the Minnesota 43 for LA.
And remember, as much as they are known for their attacking style, getting after the quarterback, they got some new pieces that they brought in with Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, and these guys are still trying to feel this scheme out and being respectful to the gap schemes and understanding the gap responsibilities. So they're going to test that, especially in the 3rd and short.
Rydell back in on the 3rd and 1. Take it to him. Herbert throws it to him.
Got the first down. Yes.
Looking at the 33-yard line, tackle there by Blake Cashman. So good looking opening second half drive for the Chargers.
It really put him and Harrison Smith in a tough spot. You get a lot of this coming down on 3rd and short and leaves Harrison Smith really out on the edge by himself. And who are you going to take, Vidal, or are you going to take the quarterback? Whoever you take, you're going to lose. You took the quarterback. Good job of being patient. Just floats it out there. Easy first down. What a drive here for the Chargers to open up this second half. Like you said, we hit with this lead. They don't want to put their foot on the gas.
They keep it on the ground. They will. By going to the outside, there's nothing happening. That time coming up is Eric Wilson to make that tackle. 2nd and long.
Eric Wilson's been a really good story this year for this defense. A lot of people thought Ivan Pace Jr. and Blake Cashman would be the linebackers, but when Cashman came back, after a hamstring injury week 1. Pace went to the sideline because of how well Eric Wilson's been playing and Brian Flores' scheme. This is a great motor.
Second and 13. Patterson is the back. Play clock is 2. Quick drop, quick throw, pass cross. To the 26-yard line goes Lan McConkey. McConkey's now caught 5, making 6 for 88 yards.
And whether it's man coverage with McConkey, we saw him beat Okudah for a touchdown, or zone, he does a really good job of sitting in the soft spot of the zones. See 24 plays for the Vikings, 20 first downs for the Chargers.
20 first downs, and Minnesota has 4. Third down, 2. And timeout. You know, one thing about the NFL, and again, we've proven it's so unpredictable. And the Chargers the other day, defensively, they were run over by Indianapolis. Offensively, kind of looked a little out of sync, except in the second half. And tonight they come out and dominate.
Don't you feel like we're at that point this season where injuries are mounting for teams all over the league, and it's about almost surviving this gauntlet of week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 until you get to December and January, and you hopefully get healthy and you make a stretch run. I mean, it feels like who's going to blink that type of the season that we're in right now in October.
Well, some teams withstand it better than others. Look at the 49ers right now.
Yeah.
They were a mess. We had them. They came in here. They beat the Rams in overtime. Beat Atlanta the other night. You know, despite having half the team on either injured reserve or in the tent.
And I think Mac Jones has a lot to do. If you got that guy, you get King to quarterback, you got the right guy there.
So third down and 2 after they took the timeout. Show blitz, here they come. Herbert trying to turn the corner, throws, and it's incomplete. Put a ton of heat on him, trying to get him to a pocket, and it's 4th down and 2. Redmond chased him all the way, and so did Turner.
That is a heck of a job here, because it looked like the Chargers with that run game, they were just going right down the field. Here's our defensive alerts again, not predicting, but showing you the biggest threats at that second and third level. The 2 linebackers mugged up right in the A gap, flushed him out. He's been making a lot of plays with his legs. This time you can see good effort there by Redmond, and eventually Dallas Turner able to knock him out of bounds.
43 yards.
Go for field goal.
This is only a attempt thus far from 49. This one.
Made the field goal. Yeah.
Inside the right upright. J.K. Scott did a nice job. High snap. McCarthy was the 5th, and then Bo Nix. So all those guys have had their moments or are having their moments. But for JJ, missing 22 of 24 games, making 23 of 25 when you count tonight. They hope to have him back maybe a week from Sunday when they go to Detroit.
Yeah, tough one to come back, but you know, he will have more time to be able to not just heal up, but actually get out of the practice field and try to get back with his guys and have a chance to improve.
24-3, a pickoff fielded by Price. A yard into the end zone. Price, good run back here. And a flag comes in as he's tackled up at the 42-yard line.
See that sideline reaction from the Chargers. They wanted a holding call.
Flag is down.
Every coach jumped up and down trying to make that call.
Blake Blakeman says.
Holding, returning receiving team number 96. 10-yard penalty. First down.
We had a chance
Yes.
covering all the college football we do to see a lot of McCarthy. What do you expect when he comes back?
I think that they're being careful with him because this guy just hasn't had a chance to be out and practicing much. I'm not surprised that they're being careful with him. The worst thing you want to do is bring him back when he hasn't had a chance to develop and practice. plays. And then if he doesn't do well, now what are you going to do? So I think it makes sense to me. I'll just tell you this. He brings a dimension that I would call the it factor. He had it in college. You saw it in the fourth quarter in that opener against Chicago. Players want to play for him.
So getting better from the high mental strength. Jordan mentioned, you know what the irony is here, too? Last year, who played quarterback for Minnesota? Sam Darnold. How's he doing? Pretty well. Who was his backup the second half of the season? Daniel Jones. How's he doing?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Probably story of the year. But you got to trust this guy right here. He has a quarterback-friendly offense. But I just say that I think you got to cut the head coach some slack. He knows his personnel better than anybody. I'll just tell you that McCarthy and O'Connell, in my opinion, are a perfect match, and he brings an X factor with his attitude.
Second and throw. Jones makes the catch. Jones gets a nice block. Jones gets a first down. Up to the 33-yard line goes Aaron.
I thought they got away with a hold, but we get a flag down.
Play on the far side at the 27-yard line, and the Vikings are already starting back.
Another flag.
And then they stop for the moment.
Walter Rouse, who is in for Justin School at that right tackle spot. Number Brian O'Neill is not playing tonight. He's going to pick this one up.
There is no foul in the play. Play stands is called.
He said there's no foul in the play.
An eligible man downfield.
Well, I you could go with that. Maybe a hold by the right tackle. He grabs onto him and maybe comes on towards the end, but they thought maybe an ineligible man downfield in Donovan Jackson, but they pick it up to the Vikings. You mentioned they had 4 first downs, and now they have number 5.
Out first down, 20-5. From the 33-yard line. Incomplete. That's how I'm trying to hit Ben Jurasic. First time he's been targeted. Meanwhile, look at this. Career revivals, of course, it's been one of the big stories of the year with Baker Mayfield, obviously, in Tampa Bay. Sam Darnold, of course, doing it now in Seattle. Daniel Jones, who was in here over the weekend and destroyed the Chargers.
That's got to be the story of the year right now. The first half of the season, not just Daniel Jones, that entire team and the way they're executing.
Resurrection tour. Jones cuts it back. Up to the 38. We go to Kaylee.
Guys, building a relationship with J.J. McCarthy has been top of Justin Jefferson's mind. He told me he's still learning how McCarthy sees the game, and through that process, Jefferson has shared some of his own lessons learned in an effort to get McCarthy to play with a little more confidence, not to try to play so perfect, and just to take the stress and emotions out of it whenever he gets on the field.
Of course, who was McCarthy's coach at Michigan? Jim Harbaugh. Because we had Jim Harbaugh, not only as a coach, has been great. He was a first-round draft choice as a quarterback back in 1995.
Long career.
Before that, actually, in the 80s, late 80s, 87. Wentz goes down.
Back!
Khalil Mack. Right to Carson on every level, including getting hurt. Gets up slowly. One team comes on. Chargers will get the ball.
Yeah, Jesse Benner doing a good job of showing pressure and then bailing out. There's just Khalil Mack just being relentless, just not giving up. You would have loved to see Carson Wentz be able to work through the progressions a little bit quick. The ball almost came out. He's lucky to hold on to it. Get Hawkinson off to the right. They would have given him a first down as a check down, just unable to sit him.
Ryan Wright. Punt. They're caught at the 15-yard line by Darius Davis. A little over 7 minutes to play in the third. The night belongs to the Los Angeles Chargers. Arena finds itself tomorrow at 7 Eastern time. Back here now, 15-yard line is where the Chargers begin this drive. Herbert Left. Wobbly pass. And it's picked off. Here's Metellus able to pick it off.
It looked like Jalen Redmond may have gotten a hand on that football. Somebody got a hand on it because that ball was dying. And Metellus ends up coming up with the play of the game so far for the Vikings. He's kind of that joker on the back end, plays a lot of different positions. 61, gets the hand up. Yes, in fact, he does touch it. So give him a lot of credit for making that ball kind of float up into the air. He's probably their best interior defensive lineman through the first half of the season. And how about Metellus? This Vikings defense has been desperate to come up with more turnovers. Only their third interception so far in the year. But this one comes at the right time. Now, big question, can the Vikings cash in with this opportunity?
They have to at this point.
Yep.
To try to get back in the game. Those other interceptions, those two came in one game. So in the other 5 games, no picks. Not one tonight.
And Herbert throws his 7th. He did such a good job of taking care of the ball last year.
They had only 3 during the regular
That's right.
season.
Yep.
And then threw 4 in a wild card game at Houston. On the ground. Looking for room. Mason McCoy. Back we go to Kaylee.
Guys, Josh Metellus had a warning for me coming into this game. He said if anybody's worried about our takeaways, I think that's going to change very soon. When I reminded him that Minnesota hadn't forced a turnover since his interception in their Week 3 win over the Bengals, he said, that's crazy, right? But he had nothing but confidence for this group, saying the type of chaos they caused, it was just a matter of time.
You inspired him. 2nd and 6. Wentz throws, and that is caught and slowed in to a first and goal. They finally go to Hawkinson, who had a touchdown overturned last week. He was very upset about that. And it's 1st and goal.
Now with 3 receivers to the right, it opens up the middle. You're right. Finally get the ball to the tight end, but they got to flex him out. What a shape there to be able to get separation. Nice job of finding him. Good job of designing the play. He's able to pull away and separate from Still. As we said last week, 1 of 6 in the red zone against the Eagles. Can't afford to do that. They need a touchdown.
Addison had set up in the backfield, and then Wentz just gets rid of the ball as he was being tackled.
Football, yeah. The 30, the 40, the 30, the 40, the 10, touchdown, yeah.
It's either he's down or an incompletion. It's definitely not a touchdown.
One of the two, he's waving it back.
It's the knee down before he flips the ball. See that Chris on that knee. Yeah, he'll be down.
Yeah, he's trying to backhand it.
Yeah, he's down. Second about the 16-yard line.
Unfortunately for him. Trying to get their way, backhanded. And that was 2nd and 6.
And this is will incomplete.
Blake Blakeman.
After review, early in the field said the quarterback was down by contact at the 15-yard line.
Okay.
He said when it was down by contact.
Again, another pass where Wentz and this offensive line, I noticed, giving up a lot of pressure. But you'd love to see his internal clock move a little bit faster, especially down the red area. You've got to get the ball out of your hands much quicker.
2nd and goal from 15. Nothing. 1 yard for Aaron Jones. 3rd and goal now.
Bill Mack, again, everybody thinks about him as a great pass rusher with the Hall of Fame career that he's had. But man, he is so good with his eyes and so disciplined, not put the ball. Able to make that play. Interesting call on the way on 2nd goal. Now you got 2 plays here to be able to try to punch it in. Jefferson's going to get a lot of attention down here.
Jefferson to the right. 3rd and goal. Wentz to the left, and that is incomplete. for Aaron Jones. So once again, they bogged down inside the 20. Do we ever? Fourth and goal.
That was a predetermined, just a foot race. We know what kind of player Aaron Jones is out of the backfield, and that's what they try to get him matched up against the linebacker Henley and just find out who's going to win that foot race. Henley showing pressure, trying to make up ground. Really, really tough, but again, it was predetermined to get that ball to him. Surprised they're kicking it.
32-yard field goal attempt. The league wants to take my lunch away because I said before that Rikers only missed was hitting a wire in London. The league says, no, it was an optical illusion. Not what Riker thinks. Anyway, there you have it. We cleaned it up. Always cleaning up our mess. My mess. 24-6 is the score.
Three touchdowns. You're this close. You got to take a shot here.
Yeah, 4th and 9 is a little less daunting than 4th and 14. Yeah. It comes down to 4th and goal from the 9. Trying to make it 24-10, not 24-6. In motion. Wentz looks that way. Wentz under pressure.
He's back. Yeah.
The flag is down at the 4-yard line. And you can see by Henley's reaction, he knows what this call is going to be. And among other things, it's going to be a first down if it's under defense.
St. Jude's running with Addison.
Defense number 24.
And let's see what's going to go on 24. Gets hands on him, working to the inside.
Yeah, you're showing St. Jude's with Addison in motion.
Right there, it's on contact. Good call. 4th and goal. First you take the field goal off the 4th and 14, then you get the 4th and 9. Now they're inside the 5-yard line.
And a 1st and goal. Just trying to scramble back in the game. One opportunity. Mason is in the backfield.
What?
Juice running with Addison.
Defense number 24.
And let's see what's going to go on 24.
Benjamin St. Just.
Working to the inside.
Showing St. Jude's with Addison in motion.
Right there, it's on contact. Good call. 4th and goal. First you take the field goal off the 4th and 14, then you get the 4th and 9. Now they're inside the 5-yard line.
And a 1st and goal. Just trying to scramble back in the game. One opportunity. Mason is in the backfield. Low snap to the end zone. Touchdown. Jordan Addison. So in a bizarre sequence of events, it was going to be 24-6 for a moment, but it wasn't, and they wind up with a touchdown, which is exactly what they need to try to get back into the game.
Absolutely. They're right back in this game, and Addison, boy, again, you know that Jefferson, he gets a lot of attention. They actually lined up on the same side of the field, off to the quarterback's left. It's man coverage. It's an offense that was 1 of 6 for touchdowns in the red zone a week ago against Philly. Not doing real well tonight as far as being able to have opportunities to score points, but this time they capitalized, and he got the ball out early that time for this touchdown.
Record extra point, 24-10 Chargers.
And there's Addison matched up against St. Jude's again. They're in the slot. Good move. Boy, he's such a good route runner. You can see right at the line of scrimmage, he's able to separate and pull away. And he's got the speed. And he's been hit so much, even in his time, he's falling back away from potential pressure. There's the penalty on 4th and goal. It cost St. juiced in the Chargers defense.
Sit there to help set it up. Turnover. Phyllis comes up to back and they are able to pay it off with 7. 4.5 remaining now in the third. Big night, 16 of 22 is Justin. 212. From the 5, Darius Davis. Start the drive now from the 27-yard line.
Now let's take a look again at our next gen stats powered by AWS Matchup General Jonathan Bernard. It's been a big presence. Great to see him back. In the last 3 games, you can see he's only allowed 1 pressure throughout this entire game. This season, 6.7 and a pressure rate allowed all year. You can see he works you up. He's 6'8", 322 pounds with good feet. He is a big body with athletic ability and tough to get around.
It's like that. From the 27. Start on the ground with a 3-yard pickup for Vidal. Second down.
And the only way this team gets back to the game is the defense makes a play. Last time out, it was Metellus with the interception after the Jalen Redmond tip pass at the line of scrimmage. If they're going to get back in it, they got to play better in the interior and at the line of scrimmage compared to how they played in that first half.
Chargers 5 different receivers. Still haven't seen Clinton Johnston make a catch tonight. Herbert throws, and the pass is incomplete. Back we go to Caleb.
Guys, Carson Wentz facing all that pressure tonight for most of the night without both of his starting tackles. You guys noted that the Vikings left tackle Christian Darrisaw came out of the game earlier. He suffered a season-ending knee injury last year. It's still giving him problems. He just returned to the sideline in sweats, and that was with Ryan O'Neal already unavailable tonight. And guys, we are not going to see the Chargers leading tackler Derwin James back in this game tonight. He came out of the half as well in sweats. He's got a boot on his right foot with an ankle injury.
A man who had not missed a snap all season long. 3rd down and 8. Herbert throws.
Got the first down.
It's going to be enough for Allen for a first down.
And find out. Yeah, and defensive holding. Really good route by Ladd McConkey, and Byron Murphy just got locked up. He got out of position, then he got locked up. And Justin Herbert, boy, he is feeling it tonight.
Defense number 7.
They're going to decline this because of the route.
Yeah.
McConkey, it's great to see him back feeling good and running these routes tonight. It's so many weapons with Keenan Allen. And you mentioned Johnston really hasn't had an opportunity tonight. Ladd McConkey, this running game.
Byron Murphy got
38-yard line. In the middle. Vidal, look at him go. Tough to bring down. Only the 44-yard line. Harrison Smith finally wrangles it. Gain of 18.
Again, how much fun is it to watch Vidal run the football? Get a good look at him. Anytime they're running tonight, it's on the left side, and he's running through arm tackles. Again, he is a powerful runner. 5'8", 215 pounds, great spin move, getting around people, lateral quicks, power running.
His first touch was last year against Denver. 38-yard
false
touchdown.
starts.
Well, start offense number 76. Got penalty, 4 first downs.
So,
Just to remind people, their rookie, Omarion Hampton, is out on the IR. And Najee Harris out.
well, Harris is gone for the season.
Yeah, out for the year. So you're looking at the rushing yards really hurting this defense. Continues to be a thorn in the side of Brian Flores and this defense.
And the number 2 back right now would be Hassan Haskins, and he's out tonight. They get by Delton again.
Got the first down. Yes.
Whoa. On the 27-yard line. The Charger Nation has a new favorite.
What patience here to allow the counter. Zion Johnson, a left guard. You can see Trey Harris also just kind of wait, set the blocks up, be patient, let them get established, and then you're able to accelerate through that hole.
Yeah, 18 carries for 86.
Man, he is. He's taking advantage of an opportunity. That's what we're seeing.
Bring in Jarrett Patterson. We give Kamani a little rest. And he takes him to the 23. Does Patterson.
Again, if you're a Chargers fan, this is the offense that you were envisioning. Now, it's different bodies. It's not who you thought you'd see, whether it's the offensive line or the backs, but this is who Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, this is who they are. Take all of it off of Justin Herbert. Let him complement the running game. That's kind of what they envisioned when they went out and got Najee Harris and Amari Hampton, but instead it's been Vidal and a little bit of Jarrett Patterson coming in.
Well, they run the ball 27 and thrown at 25. The carry number 28. Little gain for Patterson there. Sets up a third down.
It's got to be frustrating, that stat we just put up. And this is a Vikings organization that when they lost those last couple games and into the playoffs, they really made an emphasis on getting stronger in that same division with the Lions. At the line of scrimmage, made some moves on the offensive line, made some moves on the defensive line, brought in Hargrave, brought in Allen with the whole purpose to become more physical. And now these last 4 or 5 games have gotten away from them on defense because they can't win at the point of attack, can't win the line of scrimmage.
Final minute of the quarter. 3rd and 4. Herbert takes off. Herbert gets
Got the first down. Yes.
So Herbert tonight, 6 carries for 59 yards. And the Charger running game, 158 yards on the ground.
And you gave them the blueprint on our call. Scramble more. We love watching you scramble. You're really good at it. And if you get opportunities, we can't wait to watch you do your thing. And every one of his runs tonight, the 6 you mentioned, have been on scrambles. He's been able to pick up some first downs, 4 of them, on those 6 carries.
Easy for us to say. Takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter on this Thursday night as we begin week 8 of the season. 24
That's the other quarter.
Tonight's aerial coverage of the Five Stadium is brought to you appropriately by SoFi. What a design. The stadium was built for about $5 billion.
With a B?
Yeah, with a B. Open in 2020. Now, like those Purr Street, Daily Hartong, we start the 4th. Chargers for the first and 10 to the 14-yard line, up by 14 points. Herbert, he's going to run again, slide to a stop at the 10-yard line. 7 times he's taken off tonight.
You look at that graphic they popped up there, 158 yards rushing to 18 yards rushing. That's Chargers football. That's who they want to be, regardless, again, of who the personnel is or who's out there. Greg Roman has used that 22 personnel, those big 300-pound tight ends and fullbacks, 16 times, averaging over 5.5 yards a carry with that big group.
And that's with a makeshift offensive line. There we go.
Oh, first down. Yes.
Now this play is designed to go back to the offense's right with the motion. Watch 42 Fisk work back. But he sees an opening because of the fast flow of the defense going to his right. So he cuts back against the grain to the outside. There's a bunch of grass, and he gets all the way down to the 2-yard line. This kid is playing ball tonight.
Put the ball just inside the 2. First and goal. He's already scored a rushing touchdown tonight. Here he goes again. Stacking the line of scrimmage. Big workload for him tonight. 20 carries, 95 yards.
That's what Jim Harbaugh likes in his backs. He always has. Whether he's been at Stanford, San Francisco, University of Michigan, now the Chargers. He's got a back that's feeling it. He'll feed him.
So we're timeout for an injury here. I mean, Bernard, Jonathan Bernard is the man down on the turf with 13-18 to play in the fourth. It's a big night. Here's what happened.
He gets pushed back on by, again, there's those big fullbacks. And then he gets caught underneath as he gets driven back by Fisk.
And we have an injury timeouts.
For at least one play. Actually, we're going to put him in the tent now as well. But it's second down and goal. Play resumes for the Chargers. Brad Locken is the fullback. Lydell is the running back. And Herbert says, what's that about?
Well written in formation defense.
Yes!
Bernard goes out, that affects your personnel. And so miscommunication is one too many.
So the ball placed now at the 1 yard line. Second and goal. And by Dell. Tailback. Herbert's going to take it.
Touchdown, yes!
Herbert will take it to the end
Hold on,
zone.
the flag of the field.
On the near side of the field, at the 1 yard line.
There's movement on the right side of that offensive line. See Cameron Redmond, he started pointing to Sorrell like, hey, he's moving. Sorrell at that right guard spot. Tough 61's reaction when he moved just slightly. Right there. Hey. Little Olay out of Redmond too. Good look at it here. Not much. It was moving. Not much.
Just a scope. Herbert rolling, looking, throwing.
In the infield, it's a touchdown, yes!
That this young rookie out of Ole Miss has a real opportunity within this offense. Gets better every single week. Here he just mirrors his quarterback in trouble in the scramble drill. Gets away from Metellus, realizes he's in trouble. How about look at the eyes of Herbert. Steps up, just waiting, buying time, gets the separation, and gets the touchdown.
3 touchdown passes for Herbert tonight. Harris, the rookie, out of Mississippi. Steve Young, 6 touchdown passes in Miami following the '94 season. I was there with Frank Gifford and Dan Buell.
I remember that. That one was over in a hurry.
Very quickly.
You had the one-liners working back then.
A couple of them anyway. You needed them in that game. Here's the run back now by Miles Price.
What's your biggest memory
Biggest
from
memory
that game?
Well, it was a 19-point spread, number one. That's how much San Francisco was favored by.
That's your biggest memory.
My memory was it was 49-26 at the end of the game, and St. Humphreys launched one into the end zone. And all over America, hearts were beating furiously. 23-point lead.
Uh-oh.
Get it. Incomplete.
Wow.
Also, Stanley Richard was known as the sheriff. He was the defensive back for the Chargers. And he was bragging on Jerry Rice all week in the press.
Mistake.
The sheriff got busted very early in the game.
I'm sure.
6 touchdowns for Steve Young. Magnificent game. Meanwhile, Hopkinson up to the 44-yard line. It's the only time the Chargers have been to a Super Bowl, so they've never won one, obviously. And Minnesota's been to 4, like the Buffalo Bills, they're 0-4.
This is a team that when they're healthy, I think they like their chances of competing and seeing what they can do. But the backups tonight in some key spots have really stepped up. Most notably, they got running backs stopping right out.
Fires.
Pass is picked. Yeah. It's picked off by Dickens. Pass is picked off by R.J. Dickens.
And Jared Patterson's going in right now, but hopefully he'll get an opportunity. Remember, he first started against the Dolphins, he had 124 yards. So this guy is more than capable within this scheme to be the anchor, be that guy that brings the physicality to this run game.
Got a good chance to get to 100 if somebody tells Harbaugh how many he's got right now. Patterson up to the 49-yard line, second down.
This is an offense. They've been searching for their running game with these injuries, and there he comes. Good to see him coming back, get that opportunity. Greg Roman probably knows what he has, but they're at 171 yards rushing. That's the most since Jim Harbaugh's first 2 games as a head coach of the Chargers, week 1 and week 2 of last year. I know he's loving this.
Especially coming off the way they played 4 nights ago, 4 days ago, against the Colts on this field. Second down and 8. Well, can he get his 5 here? Yes, he can.
Got the first down, yeah.
Triple figures and more. Tackled by Eric Wilson. 109 yards for Vidal.
Now we saw him run this just a few minutes ago. Same play, bounced it to the left. This time he actually follows the counter, able to get to the outside. You know, the Vikings have had a really tough time the last 4, 5, 6 weeks of setting the edge. Very vulnerable to the outside, and the Chargers have been able to capitalize on that with the counter play, outside zone, a number of different ways they've been able to attack the edge.
9 carries, 20 yards Sunday. 21 went away tonight. Breaks a tackle. He's been not picked up positive yardage. Tackle with the line of scrimmage.
Guys, the Vikings outside linebacker Jonathan Grenard, he's still on the sidelines. He looks like he's chomping at the bit to go back on the field. He has been cleared. He just hasn't been put in. And then also another note to make for the Chargers defense, their cornerback, Tariq Still, he's questionable to return because of a knee injury.
Well, so he's out, and talking about Derwin James being out. They've got, of course, 10 days before the next game. The Chargers will go to Tennessee. Minnesota will have his hands full. They go to Detroit. 2nd and 11. If he keeps backing up, he's going to get back in double figures. Got a flag here.
Oh, flag is down.
I got a face mask on Redmond. His hand got up into the face mask. That's the shoulder pad. Oh, there it is. Tell us.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense, number 34.
Yes!
Minnesota, think about where they were last week in a game against Philly where it didn't go their way. Jalen Hurts, it's a bunch of big plays downfield, and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they get on the road on a short week against the Chargers. This one's getting out of hand. And now next week, you go to Detroit, and you got to get ready for a divisional matchup of soon to be a big physical battle there in Detroit. Detroit, you'd assume J.J. McCarthy will probably get the call. And another what is it, 10 days to get healthy. And the way Carson Wentz played tonight, didn't have a lot of help, but the way he plays, more than likely going to open the door for number 9 to get his reps in practice and get ready to go. Carson Wentz is beat up anyway.
I think 90% of Viking country is rooting on Patterson. Takes it to the 18-yard line. The Chargers tonight, 405 yards. For the Vikings, 133. Beat that.
When they get that running game going, they get under center, and they get downhill, no matter who the back is, and they can win the line of scrimmage. And then on top of that, you got Herbert, who's top 5 quarterback in the league, with the weapons that he has. There's a lot to get ready to defend, and they can run the football.
Which they're doing brilliantly tonight. 2nd and 7. Herbert steps up and is going to get sacked. Back at the 25-yard line, Jonathan Allen steps in and knocks him down. Sack number 2 for the Vikings tonight.
You agree with that? You think he's a top 5 quarterback in this league?
Herbert? You know, he seems to come and go in that area, too. There are nights like tonight, he looks like a top 5
Looks like the guy, yeah.
And there are others, you know, when you go, whoa, what's going on here? He seems to be always verging on the top 5.
From a skill set standpoint.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. Here we go again. He's out to the 16-yard line.
Now, one thing I would add, and I've covered him since he was in Oregon. He had 85 career starts, here to the Chargers. He had 42 career starts. He's got 127 career starts. And one thing I'd love to see is he's got such great poise. Is when he plays a little bit of an edge. I think he's a little bit ticked off. I just feel like that's like the next level for him to go to become the guy that I think you're talking about.
Gotta win some postseason games, too. That's very important.
Absolutely.
34-yard attempt here to Cameron Dicker.
Good was the field goal. Made the field goal. Yes.
The Chargers have lead 34-10. Cameron Dicker will kick off. Miles Price sitting in front of the right back.
I know they were in catch-up mode last week with Jim Harbaugh against the Colts, but he took the ball 55 times last week. It's just not their game. Tonight, 25 attempts. That's their game.
That's their game. Ton of rushing attempts. Meanwhile, kicking the end zone. He ended up, as you all know, the Broncos 33 points in the 4th quarter in that crazy win against the Giants.
Poor Brian Dable and Jackson Dart.
Brandon Graham is going to come back. He's retired. He's joining the Eagles. They have a season anyway. Look at the pass leaders. Entering tonight. Stafford, Prescott, Doc, Rodgers, Mahomes. All of these guys must be served, except in that category. It doesn't have to be served.
Maybe Joe Flacco will climb in there.
It's a whole different thing. Through 35, they begin this drive. Wentz to the outside. High throw. Captured by Jefferson. Ken Hart making the tackle.
You wonder how much Carson Wentz is hurt. You know, that left shoulder that was clearly re-aggravated tonight. Threw a ball tonight on the follow-through, hit a helmet. He just does not look 100% to me watching him. And again, he's been hit a lot tonight, but his defense.
On the run, throws. That's incomplete along the sideline again. Jefferson, they can see with Mark. Yeah, right there.
You can see it. You can see it. It's almost, every time he throws the ball, you can see him grimacing. It's like that left shoulder clearly impacting him. Watch him after the throw. Grab onto it.
Well, the question mark during the week, they weren't going to start McCarthy. Max Grosner, there was a moment in time it looked like they go with a rookie. Trying to get Tarkenton off the retired list. Who's next? Norm Snead, Gary Quasso. 3rd and 8, big and deep. Finish your throws, that pass is incomplete and straight rapid. 3 and out.
One thing we've not said enough tonight is Jesse Minter, a defense that could not have played any worse than they did against the Colts. We're talking a lot about the Chargers offense, but Jesse Minter, a lot of people are like, what the heck's wrong with this guy? What's going on with this guy? Last year, they were ready to announce him as maybe a head coaching candidate. And then in the last few weeks, it's like, we got to get rid of this guy. And now we're back to, we love this guy.
Of course.
All I know is back to coach. He's done a hell of a job getting his defense ready tonight against this Vikings offense.
No question. After a mini meltdown last week, it
Those
was
are no foot.
going for it on 4th down. And
No, did not get it.
we get thrown on that. Look at this. Well,
Troy Dye came around on a blitz. Came off of Hawkinson. As soon as he releases this ball from our right, bang, a couple guys hit.
6:19 left in the 4th. Boy, that sums it up, doesn't it? That one picture. On the ground, much of the rest of the way. Patterson is the running back. He's on the right side for a game. I'll tell you what, they say a picture. 30,000 words or replace it. This can be like 3,000 words.
I understand. I think it's been obviously a rough night, and he hadn't had a lot of help. But to me, when you're the captain of the ship, you're the quarterback. You got to try to hold some of that emotion in. And I know he's frustrated,
And he's hurt.
But it's week 7. There's a long way to go, and I think that's something that's just raw emotion.
He's been in the mix match with that eye all night long.
Justin Jefferson does that. It's probably on SportsCenter. It's everywhere on social media. What's wrong with this guy? Quarterback does that. To me, it's worse because, like I said, you're the guy. You're the leader. You're the alpha. It's a frustrated team right now. They'll get an opportunity to try to correct a lot of wrongs. After a mini bye, they'll get ready to go to Detroit. 1 win away, 60 minutes away from everybody feeling different. But right now, after the Philly game last week and the way they played tonight, it's a lot of somber looks down there for the Vikings.
You come in here trying to wash away the defeat on Sunday, and
Got the first down. Yeah.
the 24-yard line, it's the first down for Patterson.
I was going to say it's a good football team with a great coaching staff. They just got to get it together. I mean, we've seen teams all the time that go through spurts in the middle of the year. And you look back at by the time you get to January, they put it together and you get into the postseason. But right now, they got to find it. They got to rely on not just the coaches, but the leadership of this team to be able to get them to turn this around and keep believing that this can be a special year.
Well, if you get skunked, you want it to be on like a regional going to 5% of the country, not on national TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Naeem Hines is now in. He's the number 3 back, and the ex-Colt picks up 1. So the Chargers tonight, last game without a punt was week 16 back in 2021 at Houston. None tonight. That is J.K. Scott, who has not had to punt tonight. He's limited to holding on field goal and extra point attempts.
It had a great hold earlier.
He did. High snap, got it down, kick was good. 2nd and 9. Nothing happening there. High stop in the vacuum. You know, occasionally a game like this, you think it is over, but it's not quite over. You know what I mean? Oh, why not? You know, I'll be punished again.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
I mean,
It's close to being over, but
it's really interesting.
I don't want to call it over with 3 minutes to go. Right? Never.
No, it's really interesting where we are.
We are. Sometimes you never know that half. They destroy you. Patterson. He gets knocked out of the 26-yard line. And a little bit of interest here as the field goal unit will come in once again. Or maybe not.
Let the 2-minute warning and then maybe bring them out.
Yeah, let's see. So let this one go down, which they can. To the 2-minute warning. Go home with a victory to make their mark 5-3, and Minnesota will drop to 3-4.
Credit, because they came out and really did everything that they wanted to do. Everything they talked to us about what we hope to do, they pretty much accomplished on both sides.
And it's great when a team can wash away the taste of a Sunday game and they can do it on a Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, now the beauty of Thursday night football, you're going to win. You got the rest of the week.
Yeah, right. I think the guys early on, I think we
the Chargers go to Nashville to take on the Titans. See the Steelers here at home. Go to Jacksonville. Raiders at home. Of course, any week you can win, any week you can lose in the NFL. But not too bad. Sitting there at 5-3.
You're right, and they were already 3-0 in the division.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Meanwhile, you have a 45-yard attempt, which will draw a little interest. To Cameron Dicker. Scott to hold.
Need the field goal for one. Yes.